Hello, this is Clint Knox. I'm the founder and CEO of Brainits, and I'm going to take you through exactly how to use Brainits, all of its different features, how to embed questions, upload videos, and all that sort of stuff. Before we go through, I do want to let you know that you're going to notice that this video is not going to be highly edited. You're going to hear me say and different things like that. And partly I do that for a reason, in that one of the largest obstacles for teachers creating videos and putting them up for students is the fact that teachers feel like they have to be perfect. And we're not perfect when we give our actual lectures in our class. We say and we make mistakes and we correct them, and that's okay. Please note that it's okay to do that when you create your own videos as well. You're human, and the videos don't have to be like Instagram filtered perfect videos. So where the students actually appreciate some, the dog barking in the background or those types of things. I want to let you know a little bit about why I created Brainits. The key feature with Brainits is that you can embed questions throughout the video. But when you do that, if students get the question wrong, they don't get to just move on. They're kicked back in the video to rewatch that section as many times as they need until they get the question right. This way, in essence, the student has to get 100% in order to complete the video instruction. It really builds in student accountability in that flipped and learning video instruction model. So anyways, there's a lot of different reasons why I wanted to do it. There's a lot of absenteeism has a lot more to do with like bad life situations than anything, and kids can now access these lessons in or out of the classroom on their cell phones and what have you. But that's a topic for another time. So let's jump into Brainits. Here we're on the home page, and you can see like a little tutorial here. You can see all of our pricing, the register, login. You can scroll down and read a little bit more about it. Some of our frequently asked questions, our tutorial, or excuse me, our testimonials, privacy policies, and all that sort of stuff. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and jump right in. So we're going to go ahead and register with for a free trial. Now, if you're actually taking a class, I want to make sure that you know that you're going to actually register using your access code. So you would hit I'm an instructor, and then you would have a teacher license there. But I'm going to actually just do this as a free trial here for a moment. Now, with your institution, if you see your institution, you can just start typing it in here, and we see, North Middle School. So there's a North Middle School already there, and you can just click on that, and that's your institution. If you don't start typing it in, and you actually just hit this down arrow, it gives like all the institutions in alphabetical order. So just try start typing it in. So like Palmer. Nope, no Palmer, so then you might add institution. If you need to add your institution, just click that button, and then you just type in all the information here. Your institution name is your school name, district name, street address, and all that sort of stuff. And then you hit submit, and then your institution will show up on this institution page. But for now, I'm just going to use test institution. Couple things to note. Your email, once you use an email with Brainits, you can't reuse that for another account. So if you're just doing like a little test free trial account, I'd recommend using either a fake email or just a junk email. But because when you go to use it for real with a registration and a license, you're going to need to use a different email. The username can pretty much be anything, but the password for a teacher needs to have an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, and a number as well. So it's a lot simpler for students, but we'll cover that later. So you can hit the terms of service, and it'll come up here, and you can see all of our terms of service here. Look through that, assuming you agree, hit the button on the left-hand side, I agree, and then you can go ahead and register right there. This is your teacher portal. We're just going to jump right in. First thing you do is you create your class name. And then you'll notice the access code, which is here, CAP39. We'll talk more about that later, but that's the access code that the student is going to use to merge into the class. The start date you can change. It automatically defaults to today's date, and then you just click whatever end date you want for the period. So this is typically going to be a semester or a quarter or something like that. Then hit create new course. You've now just created your first new course. We're going to go ahead and create a second course, and we have a different access code for that course. And now we've created our second course. At this stage, we can go through and create all of our courses for the year, and then we're going to actually now add in a lesson to the course. So our add lesson pop-up comes up. So we're going to go ahead and create a new lesson here. And there are 5 different ways in which you can create a lesson. You can create a lesson using our video library. These are videos that other teachers have put up, and that if somebody put up a nice lesson and they had a video, maybe you didn't like their questions, but you wanted to use the video, you can use that and add your own questions. You can also add questions to a YouTube video. And I'll show you this in a little bit. You can take the URL or the web address of the YouTube video and embed that into Brainits, and that'll allow you to embed questions and make that video interactive. You can also upload your own video. So if you've recorded a video, like I'm recording this video now, and you want to upload that to Brainits and add your questions, you can do that. You can also duplicate a lesson. And what this means is you're taking a lesson that another teacher has created, or maybe you created for like your regular track class, but you want to add in some additional questions or make some of the questions harder, or vice versa, make them easier for some kids in modifying the lesson. You can do that by hitting the duplicate button. We'll go through that as well. Or you can reuse a lesson. So this is really helpful if you have a class period 1 and a class period 3 and a class period 5 that are all the same class, and you want to use the same video, but you don't want to have to like create it multiple times, of course. You want to just reuse it. And the key with the reuse pieces is if you make a modification in any one of those class periods, that modification is made to the lesson in each of those classes. So we'll go through these all one by one. But first, we're going to start by creating a lesson using the video library. So go ahead and click that, hit next. This will take you to the video library and has a list of all the different videos that are on our platform. And you can search these by subject and by grade level. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and use the punctuation lesson. Now, if you want to, you can also just preview that video. So here you got this teacher who actually happens to be me talking to you about semicolons, colons, and dashes. And you can kind of fast forward and see if this is actually the lesson that you really want. It's a little bit of a longer lesson, but it might be one that you'd want. So let's say it is, and you want to add this and add your own questions to this video because you thought that that lesson on semicolons, colons, and dashes was really good. So you hit the plus button. You are now creating a lesson in class period 1. So you're going to go ahead and create the lesson name. Now you'll see here that I gave a name to the lesson, I gave it a description, I put in little tags that'll help people search for it. I created which subject it is and the grade level. I also put a start date for the class and an end date to the class. Now notice it's important that if you create a start date that is after, say, today's date, this lesson won't be accessible. Or if you create a due date that, say, is today and you go to view it tomorrow, you won't be able, and the students won't be able to access it. So it's important that your start and end dates, not only for these lessons, but actually for the classes themselves, are within the window of time that you want people to access them. You can also make your lessons private. Just hit this, and then that way only you and your students would be able to view these lessons. But we're going to go ahead and keep it public for now and hit add lesson to course. So we come here and it might take you a couple of seconds, but you're in this page which will allow you to add in questions throughout the video. So what you have here is you've got your time bar here at the bottom, and you can hit play and the video will begin playing. You can pause it at any time and insert a question. So if you go to hit insert question, you got these different choices. We're going to go with multiple choice to start off with, and we'll hit a select. And we can put in a multiple choice question that has up to a total of 8 possible options. I'm just going to put in a very simple question. And of course, the title of this lesson is semicolons, colons, and dashes. And we're going to mark that as the correct answer and hit insert. So from here, we got a first question. If you want to go back and edit it and you decided like, oh, I want to change the question or change one of these options or change the possible answer, you can go ahead and do that there. You can also delete the question and all that. But we're going to just go ahead and leave the question as is. And we're going to just go ahead and insert another question here. So we'll just go with the true, false, and insert it. You can also just like scroll through the bar, especially if these are videos that you've created or really familiar with, and you just want to put it in, and you'll see that it's at 212 seconds, or this one here is at 5 seconds. For purposes of just today and make things a little bit easier and faster, we're going to just put in the questions here right off. Actually, before I do the short answer, I'm going to do a quick message. So, and you can insert that. And we're going to insert a short answer essay question. Now, a short answer essay question, you're going to type in the question here, and you're going to type in your sample response here. And this is what the student will see after they type in their response. They'll see that, hey, their response was close to yours, and this is actually what yours was. and go ahead and hit insert. Again, if you want to put one in and you go to put it in, but you don't like it, so we're just going to like put that in here real quick. You can always go back here and then delete. And are you sure you want to delete? Yeah, we're sure. So we have 4 questions here, and you've created your first interactive lesson. If you wanted to change the start and end date, you can also do so. Here we'll actually just bring this back 1 day, and the dates have been changed. So when we go back to the teacher portal, we'll see that period 1, and if we go to details, we can click this and view like, hey, introduction to punctuation has been completed. And if we want to actually view this from the student perspective, we can do it here. If we want to edit this, we can do that. Hit delete this, we can do here, and the records we'll get to a little bit later. This is going to be what's going to tell you what students have completed this video and what students haven't. But let's take a look at what this video looks like from the student perspective. And for this first one, we're going to go ahead and get this question right. And this next one, we're actually going to get this question wrong, so you'll see that it kicks us back. And you can see that it kicked us back. Here, we're going to get it right. And our message pops up. Also, it's important to note, you can also drag this pop-up box out of the way as you'd like. And we'll answer the short answer essay question here. And we'll see that we were 100% similar to your answer as the teacher, in this case my answer, and it will give the teacher's sample answer here. If they're somewhat similar, it'll give them a percentage index, and it's not the end-all be-all, but it just lets the student know how close they were to the teacher response. If a student doesn't quite finish the video, they can hit suspend. Now, it's important to note that the student can never actually fast forward. They can only go backwards. So if they want to rewind back to the last question, they can hit the rewind button, and we'll take them back to just after the last previously correct answered question. If they hit suspend, it'll ask them if they want to suspend their progress, and they can go ahead and suspend that there. And so that's how the student views it. Let's go ahead and add another video, but this time we're going to be using a YouTube video. So go ahead and do that, hit next, and here you're prompted to add in your URL. And we're just going to go ahead and go to YouTube, and I'm going to find a quick video. So once we find the video that we want, here at the top is the URL. We're just going to copy that URL. It's just that www, whatever that is for that video. Hit Control C and you'll see it highlight. You can then go back to the Brainits page, hit Control V, and or if you're on a Mac, it's Command C and Command V, and then hit OK. At that stage, Brainits works with YouTube to allow you to create a lesson, and go ahead and fill this out just like you did with your previous one. And we'll go ahead and hit Add Lesson to Course. Here, you have the same platform where you can add questions in. And here, for the sake of time, we're just going to have those 2 questions. And we go back to the teacher portal, and we'll notice in period 1, we've created 2 different classes, or 2 different lessons. And we're going to go through the next one and hit Add, and we're going to create a lesson uploading our own video.